Coming up on Almost Adults.
I'm a Gemini, on the cusp of Taurus. I enjoy short walks on the beach because Santa Monica is just too crowded for me.
Been having to kind of half-ass some things, and I don't want to do that anymore. I really want to give it my all. So my resolution, 2017, is no more half-ass, all full-ass.
Civilian nuclear power plants are usually less than 10% enriched uranium-235, and when you're talking explosive capability, you're talking, it has to be, upwards 99% or so. So
I think it's very, very important to not go for perfection, but to go for excellency. Because there's been times where I just would not release stuff because I didn't think that they were perfect.
Oh, my friend Gage is gonna talk to you. Oh, and John Claude, he'll be there, too. Even though they're not close together, they're far away. There, one's in Tampa, the other one's in LA. Oh, Gage, what's the show called again?
Fucking, it's Almost Adults. Shit.
Almost Adults. Shit.
Welcome to the Almost Adults podcast with me, Gage Agnew,
And me, Jean-Claude, Gede,
and Kat, then Daddy.
Hey guys.
and Mara. I don't know her last name.
special guest star, Mara.
Special guest star, air horns.
Unspellable, unpronounceable last name, Knopic.
I didn't really know how to spell your last name or pronounce your last name either.
That's right. I did see that. Is it Knopic? Is there the K? I mean, obviously you would know.
Yeah, it's just like all those other English language words, like knowledge, the knights of the round table.
Knock.
You eat with a knife.
Knock on wood, yeah.
Yeah, just like all that stuff.
Beautiful. Okay.
Mara, why don't you introduce yourself since this is the first time on your show?
Well, let's see. I'm a Gemini, on the cusp of Taurus. I enjoy short walks on the beach because Santa Monica is just too crowded for me.
Can I just say, fuck the beaches here. Fuck them. They're terrible. Okay, go on.
They're gorgeous to look at, but some of the clientele, for example, the last time I was over at Santa Monica with my sister and my adopted mother and my niece, I was severely accosted by a scary clown. I have a photo. He came up to the vehicle.
No.
He tried to open the door of
Was
the
this
car.
around Christmas time?
Oh no, this was in October, but it was even worse. He tried to open the car door. He really did.
Yikes.
I was so scared.
I would have been too, man. You should come to Destin Beaches. Destin Beaches are the best.
I have been to Destin. I actually helped a friend plan a later in life second marriage there, and that was where they got married.
Awesome. Awesome. That's right where I live.
Oh,
You could have met me even earlier.
True, you would have been a little younger.
Yeah, I would be like in middle school.
Oh, wow, that makes me feel so
Actually,
great.
I don't know. You never gave a time period. I just assumed I was in middle school.
We'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. You want to say more about yourself?
Let's see. I am a nuclear engineer. I'm currently operating my own business with an app that I designed. Fingers crossed that 2017 is going to be a good year for us.
Woo!
But I'm also constantly pursuing my education to further my knowledge about all sorts of random things. I'm actually looking forward to leadership in film this semester. This is going to be very fun.
Really?
Yeah, I just, I wanted to take something that was in a way a little easy as far as I love watching movies.
Wow.
What's not lovable about that? And I don't like writing a lot of papers, and there's not a lot of papers.
Gosh, amen to that.
Yeah.
Papers are the bane of my existence.
Yeah. So, and now I'm here in sunny California. I moved here last year, and I'm so excited about my first New Year's here.
And look where you ended up. You ended up in my closet.
Well, at least Tom Cruise isn't in here with us.
Tom Cruise and John Travolta.
Yeah, we just watched that episode. They re-aired it the other day.
God, it's
that's
such a good episode. Yeah. South Park is smarter than it looks.
Oh, gosh.
Which, I always like shows like that. Like Red Letter Media is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're a lot smarter than they look. So anyways, I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions, since this is the first podcast of 2017.
Woo!
Mhm.
Woo!
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Kat, you've been fairly silent. Would you like to say some New Year's resolutions?
Yeah, sure. I actually have 3 New Year's resolutions, and I will present them to you in order of scope and importance. So this year, I've actually taken on a lot of new responsibilities. I started a full-time job. I started an internship that I just got promoted in, and I'm helping to run 2 clubs. And having to balance all those throughout the year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying it a lot. I really love every single thing I'm doing, but having to balance all of them this year has been a challenge. and just to like have all of my bases covered, I've been having to kind of half-ass some things, and I don't want to do that anymore. I really want to give it my all. So my resolution 2017 is no more half-ass, all full-ass. All the way.
Yeah, put your full ass on the table.
Yeah, and especially with my 2 clubs, because they're just getting off the ground, and I really want to put a lot of work into them. And with my new role in my internship, I have a direct contact with somebody at Marvel, so like I really want to do well there.
Nice.
I think I just wet myself.
So that's resolution number 1. Resolution number 2 is something that I overheard you guys talking about before I had my mic working, is to love myself more, because I think like the last half of 2016 was kind of just like a downward spiral for a little while, and there were some times where I wasn't feeling so great, and like, fuck that noise. I want to just love myself and be really happy with everything that I am.
That's awesome.
I think more people should resolve to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
I was actually working on that. I've been sort of in a slump. I've been working with that at the end of 2016, and now I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to start making video content. I'm going to start cracking down on more podcasts. It's going to be great. So what's your third thing?
Yeah, my third one is just to have more chill, because I have 0 chill. I'm like a small dog, like I get excited and I shake a lot, so just want to be a little cooler.
Well, small dogs are adorable, and they live forever, so at least you've got that working for you.
I hope I'm adorable and live forever. Actually, I don't want to live forever, but I can make it work.
It would be like a curse.
Or a gift.
What if you were in jail for life and,
Life never ended.
yeah, and life never ended for you? That's a Twilight Zone episode, man.
I think I would have
That's a
enough
good
time
idea.
to figure out how to get myself out of jail and just do something really cool. Learn how to get superpowers.
You just need to play Monopoly and get one of those get-out-of-jail-free cards.
Monopoly in itself would never end.
That's a board game that never ends, by the way. Whenever I play it, I don't play it for like 30 minutes. I play it for like 4 or 3 hours.
Yeah, and at that 4th hour,
yeah.
it only ends because somebody flips the board over.
Exactly.
And never ever let the Jewish player be the banker. Just saying, I was the banker.
The all too often Jewish player that comes into the mix.
We
Can't let him be.
Our bank had very strict rules. Let's just say that.
Did you see that one Calvin and Hobbes comic strip where Calvin's losing at Monopoly, so he just takes money from the bank, and Hobbes is like, you can't do that. He's like, yes I can, it's a robbery. All right, John Claude, what about you and your resolutions?
Ooh, resolutions for 2017. So I think big one for 2017 for me, which is vague but encompasses all of the things that I need to do, is just focus in general. I tend to spread myself very thin in all my different things that I want to do. It also harkens onto Kat's full-ass attitude. I think just kind of dedicating myself to a few things and just doing them to the best of my abilities would be a very good idea. As well as that, I would like to be even more extroverted than I currently am. I just re-picked up the guitar, and so I've been learning a lot of stuff there. So I'd like to do some more improv things and start focusing on musical stuff as well and performances. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think just being a better artist in general would be a cool goal. We'll see where that goes. But my goals for at the moment, I need to really sharpen them by the time midnight rolls around.
Hey, you're already on track, my friend. You're already meeting such exciting new people through this podcast.
You're absolutely right.
You've never met Kat Vendetti before.
I didn't. And
No.
it's such a pleasure.
Yeah, it's alright.
Mara, we've been long friends, so...
I know. I just can't believe how long it's been since I've seen you.
Aww.
I know. Yeah, you forgot how big my biceps are since the last time you saw me.
I did, well, my hair is even more blue than the last time that we saw each other.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
because it was at like a pretty saturated content. I don't know how you got that.
I'll explain it to you one day. It's a really long process, but it's worth it.
It involves your nuclear engineering.
Absolutely.
She just takes a blue spray paint and just, goes on top of her head. It's magical.
It's quite magical.
Speaking of blue spray paint, Mara, what are your New Year's resolutions?
Well, even though you implied vandalism, no, that is not. my
No,
New Year's resolution.
vandalism on your head.
Well, I think that part of it is that, I suffer from OCD. Not really that it's suffering in my case because it's very mild, but I want to learn how to relax a little bit more and understand that excellence does not require perfection and that I don't have to get myself so stressed and worked up over something that is so simple, like there's dust on a table or there's a little cat hair on my sofa from where my cat just sat. I don't have to make the bed so precisely like it's hotel quality every single day and things like that I can learn to to let go a little and accept the standards that normal people think are high, but that I think that I have a distorted view of reality in terms of what perfection is and what excellence is. And I want them to try to separate themselves and become happy with where I fall in that area. Also, I really think that Kat was very insightful that we should all resolve to try to, in whichever way it makes sense to us, to accept ourselves and love ourselves more as who we are. You know, our core being, our character, the things about ourselves that will never change, that are the essence of ourselves, as well as the outer things that we may be able to change, like subtle things about our personalities or about our figures or how we behave around other people, and to learn how to like myself a little bit more. I think that that's very, very insightful and very healthy. Plus, I want to try to get myself out there a little bit more. Since I do work from home, California is a bit lonely for me sometimes because I spend a lot of time in my apartment. I spend a lot of time waiting for my boyfriend to get home from his job because sometimes my only human contact in a day. Because I get so busy and so wrapped up, I realize, oh my gosh, it's 6:30. I can't believe it's 6:30. What was I doing all day? So I just want to try to get out there and maybe meet some people, you know, get some other contacts because Gage works all the time. So try to make some friends. Get out there. What about you, Gage?
Wow, you really set the bar for me.
Oh, I think Kat set the bar for all of us.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, thanks, guys.
If you don't mind, I want to reflect on your resolution a little bit.
Sure.
I think it's very, very important to not go for perfection, but to go for excellency. Because there's been times where I just would not release stuff because I didn't think that they were perfect. Where if I had it out like 2 months earlier, it would have had the same impact. From an artist's perspective, that rings very true. Just bringing out stuff when you need to.
Yeah, I'm going to also springboard off of that because that's something I've been reflecting on a lot too, is the big tenet. That's also something I want to bring into 2017, so thank you for bringing that up, is I want to fail faster in 2017. A lot of the things that I'm interested in pursuing in terms of becoming a better artist, both in illustration, musically, in improv, all these kind of things, I need to take a lot more risks and fail at them faster so I can realize what I'm doing wrong and become better that way. And if that means posting shitty artwork that's shitty to me on social media and seeing what people say about it and then working off of that, that's what I got to do. And being okay with that.
Yeah, I want to speak to that too. Because I think that's something that a lot of people, whether you're a creative type or not, can agree with. For myself, there's a lot of things that I haven't completed or seen through to the end. I've given up halfway through because I thought it wasn't good enough. And the only way to get better is to keep doing things and make your mistakes and then work through them. That's the only way to get better. So that's one of my goals too, is to do things, and even if they're not perfect, just see them through to the end.
Awesome. That's something else I want to tackle in 2017, because I want to tackle new mediums. Like John Claude was saying, he's doing some improv and some musical stuff. I want to try to pursue some new creative mediums too, because I still want to try to figure out what exactly works for me. I want to get a little more into the science side of things. I would like to get a little more technical.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You don't normally hear that. People usually want to run away from science.
Science is fascinating.
I love science. If I didn't major in English, I definitely would have majored in like astrophysics or something, which are two completely different things. And I don't know why I chose English, but that's fine.
Oh no, I understand completely. I'm an absolute film geek, and I wasn't lucky enough to have parents that told me that I could have a dream and have a career that was something that I loved so passionately. So they made me think that I had to have, you know, a real technical sort of job. So if I could go back and do it all over again, I might do something completely different.
But you said that you're still pursuing education, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like I'm always going to probably always either be in school or teaching, because that was part of what I did at my old job. Is I had the good fortune to teach people thermodynamics and things like that, physics, and I either want to be taught or teach. I think I have an aptitude for it, and it's fun. I love seeing the light bulb light up in their head, and the biggest thing I can ever hope for is that I can make a student even smarter than I am.
Were you teaching physical chemistry when you were teaching thermodynamics, or what class were you teaching thermodynamics in?
Mostly like nuclear physics in terms of neutron reactions, different types of photo interactions, things that you would see specific mostly to nuclear, as well as a little bit of mechanical physics and fluid dynamics.
Okay, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, my final courses, because I majored in biochem, so I had to take physical chemistry 1 and 2, and the second, PChem 2, which is probably my favorite course, was all quantum stuff. But PChem 1 was all fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, changes in volume and things like that, and just PQR kind of things, whatever. It was wild, but I loved chemistry, and I missed that kind of thing. I haven't taken, because I did my master's in medicine stuff, and going through that. You get the biochem component and the chemistry in that respect, but I miss physics. I miss physics a lot.
You and I could probably talk at length because of working at a civilian nuclear power plant. I was also the person in charge of doing all of the nuclear medicine training. So I've taken a lot of advanced higher level courses about treatment methods for exposures to high levels of radiation or contamination. So you and I could probably have our own 90-minute discussion about that sometime.
I did a whole entire speech on why all the different kind of fears and stuff like that surrounding nuclear reactors and stuff like that are just kind of bogus, and why nuclear energy is such a great medium. Yeah, we should talk about that, because that's at some point.
You don't have to get into a big speech about this, but I am curious about how nuclear energy, because there is this perspective that if there's a nuclear meltdown, it could be catastrophic.
Yeah, so that was the biggest kind of thing that people worry about in terms of nuclear meltdowns, and it's going to be this big explosion in the movies, and that kind of thing. So quickly going over it, and you can interrupt me if I'm saying something that's incorrect, but in terms of nuclear bombs and things like that, stuff like they dropped on Hiroshima and things like that, you have to purify the isotope that you're working with to a very specific concentration of like one isotope in order for it to become explosive. And the things that you use in a in a reactor are so dilute in terms of explosive capabilities that there's not a chance that if there was a meltdown that any explosion would happen.
That's absolutely true. And the word you were looking for is enrichment, but you're absolutely right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Civilian nuclear power plants are usually less than 10% enriched uranium-235. And when you're talking explosive capability, you're talking it has to be, upwards 95, 99% or so. So you're talking significant difference. And the only reason why, for example, a lot of people are also afraid of explosions, when you think about Fukushima in Japan a few years ago, that was a hydrogen explosion, not actually a nuclear explosion. So there's a big misconception there about how some of that works, as well as just the word critical. You always hear that in a movie, like, the reactor's gone critical
mass, yeah.
But critical's a great thing in nuclear. Do you know a lot about that, Jean-Claude?
Critical?
Yeah.
No, I can't say that I do.
Oh,
and
man.
Maybe I do if you talk about it, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay, that's what you meant. But at the moment, no.
Well, and when we think about how a reactor works, it can be like a car. It can be going at cruise control, it can be slowing down, or it can be speeding up. When you're operating at cruise control, just making powering everyone's homes, that's being critical. So whenever they say in a movie, oh my gosh, it's gonna blow, the reactor's critical, it's just such a misconception, lack of understanding about the word. So it's kind of funny when you think about it, how much they scare us with something that we think is excellent. We want to make power.
The reason that I got so into like nuclear reactors and that kind of form of energy is there was this big, around the time that I was writing the speech, there was like the big boom of people freaking out about solar roadways and how they were going to be the next big thing and it was going to be the best shit ever. But in reality, it was like the dumbest idea.
Well, plus rare earth mineral mining is so detrimental to the environment, and they still don't know the long-term effects of disposal for some of the solar batteries. So, I mean, I am a big proponent of any green energy, but the people that say that solar is the absolute, end-all be-all of green energy, they don't quite read into it as much as they should.
Right, especially with the current efficiency that we're working with in terms of the panels. It's not realistic. But anyways, I'm sorry. We were totally tangent, Gage.
Yeah, we'll talk about
this stuff is great.
Later.
Yeah, we don't hear a bunch of science stuff on this cast.
Oh, well, invite me back anytime.
Yeah, totally. We'll have a science cast.
Yes. I want to do a science cast so badly. Cool.
Yeah, I would not be here for that, but you guys can totally be.
Maybe it'll be one of my solo casts in the coming year.
Well, no, you know what, Gage? You should make it as part of your resolution. You should come and do a science cast.
Yeah, it'll be like a quiz. It'll be like a science class quiz.
At the end, there will be an exam.
Yeah, have it on my desk, 8 a.m. sharp.
Precisely.
But actually, going back to what you just said about like you loving movies, that's what I find so fascinating about you. You're very multifaceted. And the great thing about nowadays is that on a flip of a switch, you can go from like a theoretical physicist to like someone who plays video games on YouTube. It's something really, I mentioned this before, but one of the people I look up to, Dr. Brian Wecht, actually did just that. He was teaching at the University of Queen Mary, and his band, Ninja Sex Party, was so successful that he went from like London to LA with his family.
Wow.
It was crazy. I think that's part of the reason I want people on this podcast, like you and Niall. And by the way, Niall was someone who went to med school and then switched over to animation.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just, these stories are fascinating, and I want to express to people that you can kind of change your career any time in your life as long as you have a passion for that and work for it.
Absolutely. Well, Kat, we didn't want to box you out. What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. What's up, guys? I'm here. That was interesting.
Were you like texting or something?
What? No, I was listening.
Oh, okay. Anyways, my resolutions for 2017. Number one. Hang out with more people I don't know as well, because I've done that in the past. I've done it with David and Michael. I've done it with Mara, and results have been great. And if they haven't been great, I just don't hang out with them. It's just simple as that. So I want to be a little more social in 2017, much like you said, Mara. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll do more stuff, too. We'll get those chai tea pancakes. Yeah, those sound excellent. Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
Right?
She was supposed to go after this. We just ended up doing it.
Well, I ended up, before you suggested it, when I agreed to be on your podcast, when we talked before we went on vacation, I had already made plans with my friend Curtis.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Curtis. Shout out to Curtis.
Shout out to Curtis.
I was doing like a thumb, and you were going for a fist bump, and then you retreated from the fist bump. The professional podcast, everybody.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's see, what else? I want to tackle new mediums. Like I said before, I want to tackle science. I want to tackle a little bit of music myself. I have an idea for a song that I would like to sing called The Kick-Ass Kids. I would also like to get back into doing videos. I didn't do a lot of videos in 2016, and I think now would be a good time for do it. I want to bring back a show called Gage Your Interest.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I want to make it more of a video essay, and the first topic I want to do is movie trailers, sort of the state of movie trailers, the history of movie trailers. Get into that a little bit.
I think that that's fascinating, specifically because have you seen the trailer for the most recent and hopefully final Resident Evil movie?
No. Well, I'm sure I've seen like promos for it.
Well, that could definitely weave its way into your conversation because it is the most paint by numbers action/sci-fi movie trailer ever, and it pains me dearly.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Originally, it was a review show where I reviewed bad movies.
I like that, too.
Which is great, but I feel like those are a dime a dozen on YouTube, and I don't see people sort of dive into sort of the kind of specifics and sort of the history, so I would like to do like a well-researched show about that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah! I'll try to pump those out monthly. And, not pump them out, but you know what I mean. And I'll put them on the Almost Adults YouTube channel.
You should.
So, those are my resolutions for 2017. I'm sure I have 1,000 more, but I can't think of it. Oh, get a new job. That's what I need to do.
that small little point there.
Oh, yeah, my livelihood.
What's wrong with your current job? It's just okay.
It's tearing him apart.
I mean, you can always strive for better things, so those are all pretty solid resolutions.
I can always strive for better things.
Yeah.
And it's just not what I want to do in the long run.
Go work in the nuclear reactor.
I want to do more production stuff, and I want to do more writing things. So eventually I'll get on that horse.
Oh my god, there's horses?
Everyone just keep the horses away from Aura. She's
like
terrible.
Ponies. No, I grew up around horses. I like ponies.
Yeah, ponies are great. I actually took my brother to visit the Warner Brothers lot. We were looking at one of the plaques, and then a horse just walked by, and I'm like, huh. And that's the end of that story.
So I have a question for everybody.
Sure.
What is your least favorite New Year's resolution? You know, you hear your friends or your family, and they're like, oh my gosh, guys, this is what I'm going to do for this new year. What is your least favorite?
That's a good topic. I like that.
Least favorite New Year's resolution?
Probably lose weight, because I hear that too often. They're like, I'm going to lose weight. I mean, it's a good resolution at its core, but they spend all this money on like an exercise spike or something, and by January 14th, it's nothing. It's like, it's a towel rack now.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you there. I don't think I ever have any problem with anybody's resolutions, because if somebody's taking the steps to say that they want to make a positive change in their life, no matter what it is, that's awesome. But if it's like kind of a bullshit resolution that you know they're not going to follow through on, like, yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym, and they buy a gym membership and never go, then it's like, yeah, you've tried this once or twice before and it hasn't worked out for you.
Dodge actually had an excellent point at the beginning of the month. Dodge, who doth our theme song, shout out to Dodge Williams. Dodge said that we shouldn't be making New Year's resolutions. We should be making resolutions now and make the change like today. We don't have to wait for a new year. It's a good point to go off of, but that's the point everyone is going off of, and you don't want to be like everybody else.
You should always try to be constantly being better than you were yesterday, but I like the new year as a time to do that because there's a power behind it. Like, you're starting a clean slate, you're starting fresh, and this is a time to do it. And it's a nice push for people to do things if they didn't have the motivation to do it before.
There's also the psychology and like the bandwagon mechanic when you know that you have friends who are also all kind of making these steps, whether or not they're even just saying it or whether or not they're actually going through with it, but everyone around you is trying to go take these steps to better themselves or do something differently. It kind of gives you that extra motivation to be like, okay, everyone else around me, they're doing some changes. This is my chance to do something.
Right. It's a lot easier when you know that there are other people doing it with you.
Yeah.
That's why Weight Watchers actually works, because you get that support network and you get advice and encouragement and any other kind of support group. They even have them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they even have them now for
God
Fitbit
helps.
and things like that.
Oh, also, because of you and Dan, that's another one of my resolutions. I want to see at least one movie in theaters a month.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, because I didn't see a lot of movies in theaters in 2016.
In theaters?
Well, okay, here's some context. Mara is dating a movie critic right now. Very nice guy. And
He's also very handsome.
And he's very handsome. I like the cut of his jib. You know what I'm saying?
Send pics or I won't believe you.
Send pics. 2016 hashtag. All right. Well, anyways,
Those are private pictures. I'm sorry, I can't be sharing those.
We're all friends here.
Listen, we talk about science together. We're in this.
We'll figure it out. You can follow me on Twitter.
What's your Twitter? Plug it real quick.
At ouch this megahertz _ in between this and megahertz. But it's
oh, I get it now.
It's sciencey because it's ouch.
Oh, megahertz. Okay.
Yeah, capital M, lowercase HZ.
Okay, I'm gonna find you.
I had no idea what it meant until you just said it just now.
Well, speaking of megahertz, I watched a video the other day on the reason that television screens in America run at 29.97 frames per second or whatever that weird frame rate is.
Why is that?
I can't remember the exact reason. It was pretty long-winded, but it had to do with the frequencies that they send data in. Each channel has a certain kind of area that it's allowed to transmit its data within, and when they switched over to color, they had to find extra space to put in the color data. The reason when they were switching around and blah blah blah, I can't really I can't remember the exact words that he said, so I'm not going to make it up. It had to do with when they put in color data, it ruined everything. And
okay, so anyways, back to my I need to watch a movie once a month story. Mara is dating a very handsome, very cool movie critic who's handsome.
Swoon.
So he takes her to all these movie premieres, and they're sitting next to Leonard Maltin. Famous movie critic who is famous for his very thick books.
Yes.
So every week I text her and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, nothing. Did you see Sausage Party yet? And I'm like, no, I'm not spending money to see Sausage Party, Mara.
Hey, I didn't either.
That's true. They get into all these films for free. And she's like, have you seen the BFG yet? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And the only films I saw in the summertime were Pop Star, Captain America, and Suicide Squad.
Well, let me put it this way. There are some movies that we see for free that I think actually still cost me money, and that would be Passengers.
I heard that was an awful movie.
As a woman, I found it extremely offensive.
Yeah, I read this whole article that was saying that he essentially kidnaps her, unfreezes her against her will, and then they give her no sort of motivation to be really angry about that.
Well, to be fair, having seen the movie, you're right in terms of what he does, and she does exhibit an amazing amount of anger and hate toward him. It's actually a very good performance in that area by Jennifer Lawrence.
That's good.
However, the thing that bothered me most about it is that he chooses her at the outset simply for her physical appearance. He only then begins to listen to her. She basically has kind of like a podcast sort of thing on the ship, and he listens to it for her describing herself and her work, and he contemplates waking her up for over a year. So it wasn't like an impulse decision to
Okay.
essentially end her life. It was premeditated, which makes it even worse, I think, because the idea of taking away a woman's choice is, kind of a theme that references rape in a way.
Yeah.
And, she's furious with him. And by the end of the movie, somehow she manages to say, even though you can actually refreeze me, sorry, spoilers, I'm gonna love you forever because you're
No.
cute and you're Chris Pratt.
Oh my
Oh, no.
God. Okay, so it never occurred to me.
To be fair, I would marry Chris Pratt.
But it never occurred to me that her being refrozen was an option. So in my head,
yeah.
I'm reading this article thinking, well, she's fucked because she's unfrozen. But if she had the choice, that makes me really angry.
Oh dear, yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, like, when you watch a movie, sometimes, even if you didn't pay for it, people are like, man, I can't believe I wasted my money on that. But when you don't pay for a movie and you don't like it, you're like, I can't believe I wasted my time with that. I could be doing something productive.
Plus, I actually read something, this is another person's idea that I slightly modified. It would have been possibly a really good movie. I could have forgiven some of the minor flaws if the ending had changed because Chris Pratt very nearly dies at the end and she saves him in an absolutely fantastical way that's a big ripoff of The Martian. There's a lot of ripoffs in this movie also. For example, her name is Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah.
Very clever.
They also rip off Aladdin because there's a point where they're about to do something somewhat daring and he holds out his hand to her and says, "Do you trust me?"
Oh no, that's...
Robin Williams reprises his role as the genie.
Oh,
sorry, too soon.
R.I.P.
I
No,
wasn't
it's not
planning
too
on seeing
soon.
this movie, so the more you tell me, the better.
Well, I almost want you to go see it, like if you can.
If I can see it for free, if I don't have to
Yes.
pay for it. I don't want to give this movie my money.
But
I don't want to give this movie my time.
Well, at the end, in theory, let's just say he died, because I think that would be better. And then she has to spend a year all alone, because he was an engineer, so that's how he figured out how to refreeze her. She never would have figured it out.
Okay.
So she is alone, and I think it would have been great. This person suggested she starts to kind of feel the maddening loneliness he felt, and she contemplates waking someone else up. And the end is an open ending where she's standing over someone's sleeping pod, and you don't know whether or not she wakes them up, and it
that
just
would be
goes
really
to black.
interesting. Yeah.
We were discussing this before about open endings. How do you guys feel about opening endings? You unlock a box and there's an ending. No, open-ended endings. We were just discussing this with The Lobster. That has an open ending. So does Inception. How do you guys feel about it?
It has to be done in the correct fashion, and I don't think you can really say it's done in the correct fashion unless you see something that's done in the correct fashion. But you can definitely tell when something's done incorrectly. It's just one of those things you have to feel out. It gives the possibility to reflect a lot more on the movie. It opens up a lot more reflection area. But I don't know. I think there's places for both.
Yeah, I think sometimes they can come out a little cheap.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think of some movies that, did that as sort of a cop-out.
Right.
My father watches a lot of independent French films, and they use that a lot, where it ends up leaving you more angry with the film than, oh, it's so cool that they did that, how edgy.
Yeah.
I'm on either side of it. Sometimes I like having all the ends tied up and having a nice clean ending and feeling like the movie is complete. But sometimes it's also nice having an open ending where it's up to audience interpretation and it feels like the story isn't over, that there could be more, but there's no more to tell. If you have watched Stranger Things,
Yeah.
yes, not to spoil anything, but if you've watched the whole first season, it has an open ending, which leads into season 2. But I think it's a nice self-contained story in a way, where it has this open ending, but it's
if
told...
they took out that open ending, it would have been a great little miniseries.
I think even with the open ending, it would have been a really nice conclusion to the season, because it's like, oh, the story's not over, but the one we're telling is.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good way to say that kind of the perfect open ending is one where, hypothetically, it could be just a one-off where we never find out. We don't necessarily need to find out. We can just discuss, how poignant it is amongst ourselves. But it's also so riveting and engaging that we constantly need to know what has happened. That's such a good balance that you pointed out.
Yeah, it also needs to match up with the themes of the film. If it's very abstract, sort of like The Lobster.
And Inception. Inception was a very cerebral kind of, I don't know if I'm dreaming, whether or not I'm awake or not.
Yeah.
And
Right.
leaving it with an open ending kind of gives you that same feeling of when you've awoken from a dream of something where you're just like, oh, was that real? Was that not? I don't know.
Yeah, it needs to follow up in suit with that. My thought is I always like sort of the end to be bittersweet. Whenever I write something, I like to have it where it's realistic, but they grow as a person.
Well, I think that as part of your resolution, which I think is very fitting, and there's no spoilers attached to that statement, but you should go see La La Land in January.
I would love to see La La Land.
I have heard great things about it.
I loved it.
It's got Emma Stone in it. I'm about it.
And it takes place on the Warner Brothers lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, and all around LA. I think that it is very nearly one of my favorite, almost my favorite movie of 2016. I have a soft spot for an indie or two that I saw, but gosh, that movie is fantastic.
All right, I will definitely see it, and you definitely need to watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I know.
My mom and I
So
love
many
that
shows.
show. We watch it together. It's great.
Aww.
Shout out to Nino Llanera.
Shout out to
Right?
Nino. He's on AfterBuzz TV, and he talks about it. Yeah.
Okay, Dan and I will definitely check it out.
Yeah. Totes, my goats, my friend.
I just gotta make it through The West Wing. That's the one that I'm working on. I never watched it when it was
West Wing,
on.
yeah.
And oh my gosh, I didn't know what I was missing.
You guys need to come to the WB lot so I can show you some West Wing stuff.
Are the Animaniacs there?
Yeah, we were having a conversation on our Christmas special about the Animaniacs and how they're very high-maintenance animations.
God, I can only imagine that Yakko is just the worst.
I mean, yeah, they're in like a contract right now and they're unhappy as people, so you gotta give a little leniency to them, but at the same time, you gotta respect them.
I hear that Dot is even harder to work with than Katherine Heigl.
No, Katherine Heigl is really hard to work with.
Wacko seems pretty chill, though. I feel like Wacko kind of rolls with a lot of stuff.
I could see that.
These are fictional characters, people.
No, they're not.
They're real in my heart. I own
Yes.
season 1 on DVD for whatever reason. You can find it all on the internet, but I felt
It's
in
all
my
on
heart I needed
Netflix,
to
too.
own it. Oh yeah, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's great.
I just own really weird things.
Like you own Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 1.
Oh, that is a great thing that I own. I'm so excited to watch it.
Yeah, I gave that to her for Christmas.
Aw,
It was so nice. I have your Christmas card is on my fridge.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
fridge material.
It's right under
fridge
my
is-
Lady Thor magnet.
My fridge isn't magnetic.
Aww.
I can't stick stuff on it.
That is so
Oh,
sad. You
okay.
could put stickers.
Stickers!
Stickers.
I like stickers.
Stickers are great. We could have a whole conversation about, well, probably not, no.
No, we could. There's puffy stickers, there's glittery stickers, there's like the kind that you can stick and restick stickers. Trust me, I can keep going.
Oh, okay. Look out for the Sticker Cast coming 2017.
Oh dear.
Oh, bring me back to that one.
What have I done?
Yeah, you're making all these spin-off shows now.
I know not what I do.
You're making the Almost Adult Podcast universe.
Yes. Well, plus we've got to get like a Jean-Claude action special.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
Oh,
because his
gosh.
uncle, Jean-Claude Van Damme, doesn't he have
Yeah.
a show on Amazon Prime?
Does he?
Jean-Claude Van Damme? It's called like Jean-Claude Van Johnson or something.
Oh, yeah, wait. That's a little familiar.
It's something meta, like he plays himself, but the U.S. Marine Corps or whatever recruits him for whatever reason, and he's like a
Damn.
washed-up action star.
Oh God, let's be clear. I think if the Marine Corps were going to take anybody, they would still take Arnold. I mean, if you're gonna take somebody,
He's
you
doing
take
the new
him.
Celebrity Apprentice, though.
I know. And Dan pointed this out, and if they don't do it, he's gonna tell them to do it. He better not say you're fired. He better say you're terminated.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Yeah. By the way, Mara and Dan are also my friends that do really good impressions.
I'm so jealous. I've always wanted to be able to do good impressions. I'm so bad at them.
Oh, Dan is the best. He has such a great Richard Dreyfuss one. I'm gonna have him do my outgoing voicemail message.
That's great.
I have a friend who does great impressions. He does a great Jack Black, a great Vegeta, one of my favorites.
Ooh.
A good Snape.
Ooh, Dan is really good at Alan Rickman.
Oh, that's good.
I saw a little bit of it in San Diego when he was like, "What are you gonna do or hit me with that fish?" Oh man, if you haven't seen Dogma, by the way, watch Dogma.
Oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, I think Dogma might be my favorite. Well, no, Clerks will always be my favorite. Yeah, Kevin Smith made some really good movies.
I still haven't seen Yoga Hosers. I know that
That's on Netflix. I don't.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, I don't really have like interest to watch it.
I do
be
because I
perfectly
love
honest.
really weird stuff. Like he made Tusk, and that has got to be the one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. But I was just giggling the entire time. It was so ridiculous. It was wonderful.
Oh man, I gotta watch Tusk now.
You do. Oh my gosh. You should just live tweet the entire experience because I think
I did that with Mr. Robot, and you only liked 2 of the tweets.
I was a little busy trying to get my way through the last episode, and I never did.
Oh, okay.
I never ever did. I still haven't seen the last episode of season 2.
Oh, okay. No spoilers, people. Don't tweet her spoilers.
Oh god, I don't even know if I can get through it. It was going downhill fast. I
Oh
think.
no! You said it took a while for it to like start up again.
Oh, it did. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what it plateaued, I think. Maybe not downhill, it plateaued.
Welcome to the Mr. Robot podcast, everybody. Yeah, Mara and I just talk about TV shows whenever. It just always ends up like that.
It does, yeah. I mean, TV is such a big medium now. I mean, at first it seemed like going to the jump to the big screen was what everyone wanted, but if you can really get on a fantastic TV show, I mean, you've hooked me for life. You know, I'm always going to love that show.
Have you seen Ash vs. Evil Dead yet?
I haven't. I've actually never seen Evil Dead or, what's the other one?
Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, we should
I
watch
love them.
sometime.
Have you guys seen Evil Dead the musical?
What?
Fantastic.
I have that one song on my iPod. It's
Which
time.
one? It's Time to Fulfill
Yeah.
My Purpose. Great one.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, you should really watch Army of
It's
Darkness because
great.
that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway.
I was going to say something.
Yeah, Kat really likes Evil Dead too. That's why I got
love
her the
Evil
DVD.
Dead. I was so excited. I never thought, I was thinking of all the options. I was like, this is definitely DVD. It's probably a superhero movie. It never occurred to me that it was Evil Dead.
Yeah, our favorite superhero is Ant-Man, but
Love
Hank
Ant-Man.
Pym.
But
Ant-Man.
Hank Pym,
Yes.
and not Michael Douglas Hank Pym.
I thought he did a fine job.
It was okay. It was just not the Hank Pym that I enjoy from the comics.
Yeah, you enjoy like nice, slim, brash Hank Pym.
Well,
Yeah,
plus,
like troubled Hank Pym, dark past, trying to cope with who he is,
Yeah.
finding value that he still deserves to be alive. That Hank Pym.
You also really like Nightcrawler.
I love Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is my absolute favorite X-Man ever.
The two X-Men that you're supposed to like are Gambit and Nightcrawler. That's it. Not even Wolverine.
Oh, Gambit didn't get his
Oh.
due. That was such a shame.
Now, did they end up canceling that movie?
I
Gambit?
don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Yeah.
news of that in a long time.
Yeah, like the director dropped out, and I think Channing Tatum's still attached to it.
I don't know.
I don't know, it's weird.
The other thing that's really disappointing, though, about Hank Pym is I always thought that the best way, when they first titled, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron, I thought,
That'd be the perfect introduction for him.
That's exactly
what I
what
was
I thought.
hoping too.
I was like, oh, they're going to bring in Hank Pym, this is going to be great. And then Tony Stark.
And
Right.
Iron Man came out, or whatever, whatever
Vision?
the hell came out. No, Ant-Man came out right after
Or-
that
oh, yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
They could have switched around the release dates, and it would have made so much more sense. But
It
instead of
would
Iron Man
have.
gets to be the creator, it doesn't make sense.
Ultron is a huge part of who Hank Pym is in the comics, and to take
Yeah.
that away and give it to Tony Stark, then who is Hank Pym in the movies?
He's just Michael Douglas.
Yeah,
He's just Michael Douglas.
An old
He feels
father
bad
figure.
about
Taking me
his
back
wife
to some of the
shrinking.
darkest times of my life when this movie came out. I was so distraught.
We watched Ant-Man together. It was great.
We did. It was fantastic. I love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man.
Paul Rudd's just Paul Rudd in that movie. I think we've had this
he's
conversation
just Paul
many
Rudd.
times.
Well, he's Paul Rudd with ab. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like Super Saiyan
Did
Paul
he have
Rudd.
abs? I don't remember. I'll
Oh,
have to
yeah.
rewatch it. I'll have to
Oh,
rewatch
yeah.
it. There were abs? Okay, I'm gonna have to pay closer attention.
Speaking of, you need to watch Fargo.
Oh,
Because we
well,
have the DVDs
Fargo.
right now.
Oh, I watched the movie, finally. I just still haven't seen the show yet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
the
have the
show's so good.
DVDs if you want to borrow them since you're right over here.
Oh, I think, isn't it on Netflix?
Nope.
Yeah,
Oh,
Gage,
it's not?
can I come over and
Oh.
watch season 2 with you?
Yeah, we watched a little bit of season 1.
I've seen the whole thing. Yeah, we did watch a little together. I watched it all with my roommate. It was great.
Yeah, it was great. I'll mail you season 2 then. You gotta finish Ash vs. Evil Dead, though, first.
I do. My friend wants to watch it with me, so I'm gonna have a viewing party.
We're gonna have a fantastic time viewing all sorts of different things. We're gonna watch Evil Dead 2, we're gonna watch Army of Darkness, we're gonna watch Ant-Man.
Oh gosh, I think that Marvel's biggest gambles have been, in a way, my favorite and most successful movies, because Ant-Man was something that I was excited for, but I did not know if it would work, and it was fantastic.
I really liked Ant-Man. I don't think Ant-Man
I
got
love
enough credit.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of
when they
people
were
hadn't
first
heard of him.
promoting it, I was so excited. I told my friends, "Oh, Ant-Man was one of my favorite superheroes." And everybody made fun of me, like, "Why do you like Ant-Man? Who the fuck is
Yeah.
Ant-Man?"
Yeah, exactly.
I think the climax of the movie, he should have became Giant Man. That would have made sense.
Oh, I'm glad they
That would've
saved
been
that,
cool.
though, for
Yeah,
Captain America.
Civil
But
War.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, the Captain America reveal where he became Giant Man. I mean, that was pretty great.
Well,
I'm
they
not gonna lie.
accidentally spoiled that part of the movie, though, because I don't know if you know this. There's a Lego set that
Oh
is-
my
no.
gosh.
and they premiered that Lego set before the movie was
No.
in full release.
Well,
and
I didn't-
There was
I
a
didn't
Giant
s-
Man character that you could build.
Oh, I didn't see that Lego set,
I didn't
so
see
it
that
was a
either.
surprise for me.
Me too, and I loved it.
And also, I think Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of people were like, who are these people? I don't know what this is. There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
raccoon.
was
What? There's a tree. And it was amazing. And I think that so many people have latched onto that kind of quippy style, that fun-loving attitude that the movie has. And who would have thought, you know, just an objective random person that's never read a comic book
especially
in their
Chris
life.
Pratt. Like, we think of Chris Pratt now as super megastar Chris Pratt, but before, he was just the guy from Parks and Rec.
I loved him when he was squishy.
His wife's show, Anna Faris, Mom, he goes to every taping.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
sweet.
so-
I like their relationship because, you know, she married him when he was squishy.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
she liked him
she
for
loves him.
what he was.
Yeah.
She didn't like mega movie star Chris Pratt. It was
Well,
just
now
Chris
he's
Pratt.
got abs.
Now he's got abs, which doesn't hurt.
If you want abs, just star in a Marvel movie. You'll get them.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
they'll
that's
buy you
fine.
abs.
It's part of the
Well,
package.
Kat, you said you know someone at
Part
Marvel.
of the
Can you hook
abs.
me up so that way I can be in a movie and get abs?
Yeah, I can try and pull some strings. He's more on the comic side of Marvel, and we only just met. I've only just been given his contact information, but I'll throw your name in there.
Yeah, I'll let him animate me because when he draws me, if he draws me with abs, that means I get them in real life, right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, awesome.
You actually just get really, really big triceps. That's all you get out of
That's all I
I was
want is
hoping for some
triceps and
lats.
abs. Fuck everything else.
Fuck everything else. Speaking of fuck everything else, let's have our final thoughts.
Beautiful.
Let's start with me, since I don't go first very often. My final thoughts are 2017, I think, might be one of my best years after sort of the slump 2016 was. But start making the change now. Don't wait for a specific date. Start making the change now. And also, watch some movies every once in a while. Watch some movies that aren't superhero or Star Wars. But still watch those movies. Okay, yeah, final thoughts over.
It's beautiful.
Boom. All right, Kat, final thoughts.
Okay, my final thoughts. Well, 2016 was somewhat of a dumpster fire for most of us. I certainly had some ups and downs during it. So I did want to say that around April, I decided that I wanted to remember 2016 for all the good things that happened. So every time something good happened or I was really happy or excited about something, I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I folded it up and put it into a jar. And I'm saving that jar for New Year's Eve and read about what a great year I had. So
This is New Year's Eve
Yeah,
when
it's
we're
Such
recording
a good
this.
idea.
So for my final thoughts, would you guys like me to read one of these pieces of paper?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
hope it's not an embarrassing one. Okay. I wish I put dates on them because I didn't really date anything, but let's see.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, here. My first memory of 2016. Oh, God. Oh. Hired to edit for Comics First. That was an exciting thing that happened. That's my internship that I'm doing.
Yeah.
There we go.
And a lot of really great things came out of it. Yay. Okay. That's my final
Yeah,
thought.
that's a really nice final thought. And you said your internship is growing into something else?
It is. I recently got promoted to assistant Marvel editor for the website. And really, it was just me
Ooh.
saying, like, hey, give me more stuff to do. And they said, this is where we need help. And it's awesome. I met with the CEO of the website the other day and the head Marvel editor. And we are now in contact with someone at Marvel. So every week we're sending him our best articles and getting interview opportunities and things like that. So it's super exciting. Yay, 2016.
That does sound really exciting. I'm happy for you, kid.
Yes, and I
Thank
hope
you.
that you get even more good news about it in 2017.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, guys. Yeah.
You'll
So
have to be back on eventually.
please welcome me back anytime. I would love to be on.
Speaking of back on, Mara, thank you for joining us this podcast.
Of course, please invite me back anytime.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, Kat and I can always commandeer it and talk about woman things.
Yes, please. I would love that. I followed you on Twitter already, so now we're friends.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, that's how I became friends with Mara. I followed her on Twitter and I kept pestering her with messages. And she says, fine.
Oh, hush, that's not what I said. I use a lot of exclamation points and emojis.
Yeah, fine.
And the poop emoji.
Winky face.
All right, Mara, what are your final thoughts?
Well, I mean, I definitely think that Kat has the right idea that we should always try to focus on the positive things of our year, but it's also something to reflect upon as a hope for next year. That I almost think that in terms of especially my adult history, that 2016 was the most tragic year for the loss of various celebrity personalities,
Oh,
both
yeah.
in Hollywood as well as people that have meant a lot to the country, especially just recently with Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds. That
Yeah.
it's important to reflect that, you know, life is short and it's precious, and I hope certainly that it's not so bad next year for the people that we follow and that we love for what they've done, but also that we can remember that every single day I want to try to do anything I can do to make sure that I have absolutely no regrets whenever everything is said and done.
That's great. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
John Claude, end on a high note. Because I guess that was a little dour. That was fantastic.
Let's see. Thank you. Gage, I think what would be cool, considering your New Year's resolution was to go see more movies and also meet new people, you should make a goal that once a month you bring a new person to go see a movie with you.
That is a great idea.
That's perfect. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Yeah.
Although don't throw rocks at birds.
Oh,
Too late.
Jesus.
Too late.
My New Year final thoughts, I'm going to steal it from Kat because she's got a lot of good ideas, is if you, in 2017, to all of our listeners, you don't have to do a lot of different things, but the few things that you do in 2017, make sure to put your whole ass on it.
Whole
Full
ass.
That's all the
Full
way.
ass it.
Mhm.
That's it. Hashtag full ass.
Hashtag full ass. Better see that trending by the time this comes out. Anyways.
People are definitely going to think it means something very different, though.
It'll
Also,
get their attention.
look out for my new hella cool mixtape coming out, drop in 2017.
It's dropping that ass to the floor with the mixtape. Thank you for joining us. You can follow us on Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, Almost Adults Pod. Email us at almostadultspodcast@gmail.com. And thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful 2017. We got some cool stuff in store. So stay tuned.
It's very Stamper of you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.